guys had good zip. It's gonna get long all this week, but after a couple days, they're a group that likes to work, so I think they're happy to get back out there.
How do you approach just the length of time here before a game gets started?
Well, we have a plan how we're gonna go through the week, balancing practice with days off. We are gonna meet with the veteran guys that have been through it, so we'll see how that jives. We've talked about scrimmaging. Will we do it at night, prepare like a game, very early in the morning? We'll talk to some people outside the organization. I don't want to get too specific with that because then they get brought into it, see how they've handled it, at least the mental side of things. Our practices, I don't know if they're all completely relevant to how a baseball or football team would practice, obviously, but some of the mental side of that part, or basketball for that matter. We gather information and go from there. Be ready to go. I think it's inevitable you're going to have some rust, but the rest is the positive part of it. I think we'll get after it quick when we do get after it. And who knows? San Jose and St. Louis, if it ends Tuesday, they're sitting around for 6 days too. Is there a big difference between 6 and 10? I mean, at the end of the day, I think both teams are going to be rusty. If it goes 6, if it goes 7, then they might have that competitive edge the first game. But we'll do our best to overcome that.
Is there a unique challenge with Tuukka and keeping him in the zone that he's been in, given that long way?
Yeah, I don't have a great answer to that. I mean, clearly, we'd like to run him right back out there. The whole group, to be honest with you, but we'll talk to him too as well. He knows what's in front of him. He's been around. He's a good pro. He'll have to kind of figure out for himself how to get dialed in each day so that, come next Monday, he's at where he feels is 100% dialed in, which, like I said, I don't even know if he'll have an easy answer for that either, because it is what it is. You're off, so you're going to lose a bit of sharpness.
Have you had those conversations with those external resources yet?
Not yet, no. We've reached out to a few people, and when we do, then some of that is obviously private information and they don't want out in the public, but for me, it may be good stuff, and maybe relevant, maybe not. Maybe willing to share, maybe not as well, so some people are more open to it than others, and we'll find out. But I think at the end of the day, my biggest, I think, resource will be the players that have been through it. How do they see it going forward? What's their plan? What's their experiences? Go from there.
Bruce, it's kind of like maybe a quirky aspect of the beginning part that you don't know where you're going to play yet.
It is. In terms of our preparation, we're kind of looking at 2 teams. We've already started cutting some of it up, so 50% is going to be wasted. So we're going to be really good next year against either St. Louis or the first time we play them. But that's just what it is. We have free time, so we're used to doing pre-scout. So for me, it's just business as usual. You're just looking at 2 different teams. So.
It's been an interesting year, obviously, with the China trip, and, kind of everything that, it's obviously it's been a long season. I'm curious how you've seen this group gel together, and was there ever a point where you kind of stepped back and said, we have a dynamic here, there's a certain dynamic is humming along, or there's chemistry?
Well, there was the core, right, from day one, but some of that core was not in China. So a little bit of that was the younger guys taking charge. Steve and Jake, had been here a year, was a little more vocal, and Charlie. I think the Winter Classic was probably one of those, want to look back, a turning point. I think that whole Peaky Blinders theme really brought the guys together. I think that was Cruz doing, if I'm not mistaken. They can answer that. And then the game itself, we seemed to take off from there. So that was definitely one area where the group really came together. I think that was the first time, if I'm not mistaken, we were probably healthy, maybe all year with the group we thought we'd start with, or the team we were going to ice on opening night or whatever the first couple of weeks. When the room was passed, I think the players would have to. I think we've allowed the players to have that room for a long time. I mean, it's Z and Berge, right, and then Kretsch too. These guys have been around. They've won a cup, so I don't think we've really ever interfered with that part of it. I think we've tried to use that as a positive that they, can police a lot of those things. We'll take care of the game plan and the practice prep and all that. But the leadership part, I think, has done a good job with that. So I don't know if there's a specific time this year. Now with this particular team, I don't know, Matt, to be honest. Like I said, I think we've passed it on. My first got here, for the most part, they got to know me, what my expectations were, I got to know them a little better, clearly how they're capable of leading. And it just kind of evolved from there.
It's inevitable that there's gonna be kind of groups and cliques within a group of, 20 to 25. Do you notice that there's specific groups, or is there kind of intermingling?
I noticed it here, you're always sitting beside Mike, I noticed that. There's people on this side, right, it's just the way it works. Of course, there's cliques, you got guys that are married, they're probably more likely to spend some time, their kids are the same age, the young guys, but I do see this throw, we were in Columbus, and I saw, guys walking dinner, Bacchus, Bergeron, Carlo, like, Bacchus, Bergeron makes sense, that, but Brandon and there's a young guy, so there's cliques, but I think you can airdrop any 2 or 3 guys in our team together at one place and they'll get along fine, just the way they are. I think it's a reason we've had success too. Guys want to play for one another. Usually if you want to play for one another, you generally like one another.
You had said that when Miller got hurt, that we're going to play as long as we can to try to get him back in. Donnie told us yesterday that he suffered some kind of setback, and it's unlikely that he's going to play. How do you feel for a guy like Kevin who's put in his time?
I feel terrible for him, to be honest with you. He's had a tough year. You know that, right? One in the throat that we thought was fine, and he's out 5 weeks. Another one he blocks, I think it was in Edmonton. Comes back, and then he want to get him a couple games. How do we balance that? Gets hurt, so it is part of the, I hate to use that expression, it's part of the business, but it is guys getting hurt. But I feel, like I said, I feel a little bad as he got an opportunity to be on the inside of this. He's always he's a great teammate, he's here, but I'm sure if you ask him, he feels like he's a bit, when you're not playing, you feel like you're on the outside a little bit. He's been a real good player for us, for years, but that's it, that's where it gets left, right, unfortunately for him. Hopefully we'll have another opportunity down the road, have another run, he's part of it.
Along those lines, how was Wagner doing? Have you talked to him?
I saw him this morning, he's in good spirits. What did Donnie say? Clearly he's going to be out for a while. I don't know if he's going to be available to us. As we get closer, I tend to pay more attention. He's certainly not going to practice tomorrow or the next day. Hopefully we'll have a better update for you as we go. But he's in good spirits. Obviously, it sucks for him too. But he played and probably feels like, and he should, that he's been a contributor to this run because he's been in the games. A little different than Kevin, who unfortunately never got to suit up in the playoffs. So that's probably it with Wags right now.
Krejci wasn't on the ice today.
Maintenance day for him. He should be back tomorrow. Z and Camphor skated before practice, so we'll see if they'll get integrated tomorrow. We've kind of set it up. I don't believe we're going to skate Tuesday, so if Z doesn't, then we'll look at Wednesday. But with him, we don't want to push it. I know he's a workhorse, and we want to get in there back to the root as quickly as possible. So, but that's the update on those are the only other 2 guys, correct? So I suspect they'll all be with us by Wednesday.
Two more Thursdays. Camp Steven, did he come out of the game and play with something?
No, I don't want to get too specific. I think he had a little setback in the practice the next time we're on the ice. But I believe he'll be ready as well. It wasn't a minor setback.
How much of a rallying point in Bacchus, having played in the year, the league for 13 years, and never got this opportunity, now he's here. You see it all the time. Maybe the Stanley Cup final, that veteran guy that's never won before.
Well, it will be. He's a very popular guy in the team. So the guys that want to win again, obviously, there's a little extra pull for sure for a guy like David. He's been a captain this. I think he came to the Bruins with the feeling that they'll have an opportunity to win a cup, and here we are. So I do believe. How much, I don't know, but I do believe the guys will be really, especially the older guys. I think the younger guys are kind of, it's inevitable. They're probably like, well, we'll be here next year, the year after. A lot of times, I just think that's the way it is. But as you get older, you know that it's